Hey everyone, this is your host Hank Zimmerman, and welcome to episode number 87 of the Freddy Fazbear Fans Podcast. This is a very special episode because we have with us today one of the big names in the Freddy Fazbear's universe, the voice of Foxy the pirate himself, David Rowland.
Yay. Thank you.
Just to be clear, David Rowland did the East Coast version of Foxy, and as you know, the restaurants on the East Coast had an entirely different cast and scripts.
Yeah, funny, innit? I know a lot of people prefer one or the other, because, they grew up with it and the like. Sort of like how Bozo the Clown had a version in Boston and another in Chicago. And they both have fans. I'm biased, of course.
Let me just say that I prefer yours.
Well, thank you.
So why did they hire you to voice Foxy?
Well, I was pretty lucky, really. It was a chance meeting, you see. I had just arrived in the States, and I had done a few acting classes, and hadn't gotten very many jobs yet, so all I was doing was stage plays, nothing on TV or radio or anything like that. And they were all very small things, it's just places in and around Milltown, New Jersey, where I lived at the time. So these fellows from New York City, they were visiting, and they were from Fazbear Entertainment. They had seen me as Captain Hook in a local production of Peter Pan, and they liked my pirate voice so much they practically hired me on the spot.
Do you think you could do Foxy right now?
Oh my, I haven't done them in years. I might be a little rusty. Ahoy there, mateys, and welcome to Freddy Fazbear. It's a little rough on the throat.
Yeah. Did you ever meet Henry Emily, the creator of the animatronics?
No, never. He was a very private person, from what I can tell.
Foxy was different from the others in a lot of ways. Did you have any input on his character?
At first, no. But once Foxy started getting more popular, my bosses started to ask me for ideas.
He would make historical references, sing actual sea shanties. Was that you?
Yes, I'm quite fond of old folk songs and the like, so I thought that brought something, sort of filled them out.
By contrast, the West Coast and Midwest Foxy, and it's voiced by Billy Porter, had more of a magic and fantasy sort of thing.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference, though, was that my Foxy was always a little grouchy and kind of a loner, whereas Bill's Foxy was always more friendly and approachable. I get that for some people, they prefer that. People tell me, folks who grew up with Bill say that my Foxy's a little scary and intimidating. I can understand that. I kind of like it.
Did you ever meet Billy?
Yeah, once. He seemed nice. He told me that my Foxy was too low, though.
So tell us about the AI tech they implemented into the characters. Supposedly they could create a library of words and build sentences out of them.
Yeah, that was the amazing thing about the characters. It really set us apart from the other animatronic shows at Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza, I think it was. I was always amazed by the characters when I saw them, and technology was incredible. Foxy would say things that I'd never recorded. I once had a conversation with him and I forgot I was talking to a robot. It was a little spooky, actually.
And no one's quite sure how the technology worked.
Yes, they were very secretive about it. I suppose that's why you never saw any other robots or animatronics doing it. It never got out. Not even Disney knows how it worked. To this very day.
A few obscure one-off characters that were manufactured by the same factory also had it, like Ned Bear and Mr. Hippo.
Yeah, there were lots of different versions of the cast. It seemed like they were always trying to improve and never perfectly satisfied.
Probably the other most amazing thing was that brief period when the animatronics could walk off the stage on their own.
Oh, yeah, that was mind blowing. No one's ever caught up with that. I know Disney's done a few ambulatory animatronics in recent years, but they were never as articulate as Freddy and the gang. I only saw them doing it a couple times, and I was gobsmacked seeing Foxy just walking, saying hello to the kids, and giving them hugs and everything. It was so awesome and so sweet.
How involved were you in the toy designs from 1987?
Not very. It all happened very suddenly. One day I was doing a Foxy script, the next day they were asking me to make Foxy sound like a girl.
How many of those did you do?
Only a few. Funtime Foxy wasn't really a part of the rest of the gang. I think I did a safety spiel and one other thing. The rest they left up to the AI.
Funtime Foxy has a very unusual voice. It's not just Foxy all squeaky or anything.
Yeah.
Was she based on someone?
Yes, actually. I took the voice from a lovely old Irish woman I met in a tea shop in Palmer's Green years ago. She was very sweet.
Why her?
Well, since Funtime Foxy was supposed to take care of the little ones, supposed to, mind you, I thought she should sound gentle and matronly.
I'm assuming you're alluding to the Mangle incident there.
Yes.
Uh, Tell us about that.
I probably don't know any more than you do. It's one of the more infamous incidents, you know.
Yeah,
I thought it was rather sad, really. These characters almost had feelings. You know, almost. Often wonder what happened to the toys.
the rumors that they were all scrapped.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. They never told me anything about it.
What about the circus version of Funtime Foxy? Do you know anything about that?
Not much.
Did the sister branch ask you to do the voice?
No, actually, I don't know why.
Huh. Well, that does clear up a few things.
Hmm?
Well, there's like only one recording of Funtime Freddy and Foxy going around, and got one of Circus Baby. Yeah. And no one's been able to agree if it's you or not. It's not a pirate voice.
I see, yeah, it's not me.
Do you know who it is then?
Sorry, no.
And for whatever reason, there's this other recording of Funtime Foxy, the toy version, but we're not sure where it comes from. It's voiced by a woman, but we don't know who.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I was told once that at the last second they decided that Funtime Foxy should be a fully female or something like that. It's very confusing. Is Funtime a boy or a girl? I get that asked a lot.
As far as we know, it was never used. That location closed only after a week or two.
Nobody told me why, which is too bad. It had a lot of potential.
The other voice is very, very different from yours. It talks a lot about how pretty she is.
How strange. Not the way I would have done it.
Now, I suppose there's one elephant in the room regarding the Freddy Fazbear franchise, and that's
Oh, you're not gonna talk about. We were having so much fun until now.
well, everybody has their own thoughts about it, and we've asked all our guests what they think.
I suppose you mean the story about those kids, the kids who died.
Quite possibly the main reason people still talk about Freddy Fazbear.
It's a bloody shame. All I ever wanted was to entertain kids and their families, have fun and tell stories. Then you got this, this became a stain on the reputation of the characters.
No one could possibly blame you or even the animatronics. They were just there. They just happened to be in the same place, really.
I was never part of the process at any point after I did my recordings. I did my thing, and then they went and implemented it into the show. Sometimes I would visit the restaurant when a new one opened. So I can't imagine how someone could do that, worm their way into one of the restaurants and do what they did.
Of course, we still don't know if it's true. It's all rumors, really. Everyone we asked, out of all the people who used to work for the company, said that it never happened, as far as they know.
It was supposed to be in that Ohio restaurant, right? That was actually one of my favourites back in the day, before they started letting it fall into disrepair.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, if you ask me, and I know this isn't entirely scientific, but something wasn't quite right about the place when I visited one day, and this was shortly after I'd first heard the rumour. And I was shocked and disgusted at the very thought of it. I'd hoped it wasn't true. This was supposed to be safe and a fun place for kids, and somebody went and ruined it.
What do you mean something wasn't right?
Difficult to say, really. All the people working there had this glum look on their face. I remember especially being disturbed by the expression of the janitor. He looked as though he was about to vomit.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so I was noticing that the place didn't look as clean as I'd remembered it. And then my heart really sank when I looked at Foxy. They really hadn't taken care of him. His legs were all torn up, and you could see some of the machinery in there. And that kind of ruins the magic. I asked the manager about it, and he said he hadn't been functioning very well lately. He said he would stutter and whatnot, but the budget had been slashed, and they couldn't keep up with the repairs they needed. And they were thinking that since Foxy usually didn't have more than a few minutes per show, and his toys weren't selling as well as they'd used to, they would just stop his shows altogether. That made me really sad.
Not sure I follow you.
Well, yeah, sorry about that. I guess I get a little emotional thinking about that, but what made me think something was wrong more than anything was that the people working there seemed completely convinced that something had happened. It wasn't in front of the customers, though. It was when I was invited into the back room where they kept the spare parts. I guess this guy thought no one was listening, but he told me that parents were blaming them for the disappearance of these kids because they had been coming there for lunch every week or something like that, and they weren't coming back again.
So let me see if I understand your meaning. You believe that there was a murder there because they believed it?
Yeah, I guess it doesn't make sense when you put it that way, but it's true. I do believe it.
That must be kind of hard thinking that Foxy might have been in that same building.
Oh, sure. The worst part is those kids are gone because of some maniac who thought he could do something like that. Something so horrible. A place it's supposed to be innocent. I hope he got what he bloody deserves.
Let's move on, shall we?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. A bit of a tangent there, right?
I do have a bit of happy news about Foxy. So there are a few places that still have a Freddy Fazbear show, but not under any official capacity.
Foxy's still ticking somewhere then.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what I wanted to ask about it. Have you seen the alleged video of Foxy singing "You Are a Pirate"?
Yes, I have.
Do you know anything about it?
Nothing. We haven't made any new shows since the flagship restaurant closed in '93. I'm surprised that any of them still open.
That's very weird.
I know, it's incredible. I love it. I guess the characters still have it.
So you're saying Foxy learned the song himself?
He must have.
That's pretty hard to believe. I mean, that's one of those internet memes.
Maybe he has a computer.
Fans today, of course, young and old, still have a fondness for Freddy and Foxy, and few people have taken it upon themselves to create something new with the characters.
That's good to hear.
One in particular might interest you. It got a lot of notoriety a couple of years ago.
Oh dear, not again.
So have you heard of Fazbear's Fright, this so-called horror attraction inspired by the restaurants?
Once. A bit old, really.
Yeah, it got into the newspapers mainly because it burned down.
That's too bad.
Some people think it was because of bad vibes or something.
That's a little silly now, don't you think?
I'm sure you've probably heard some of the other far out stories regarding Freddy and the others, especially about the locations that were closed for unusual reasons. Have you heard any of the various rumors surrounding Freddy?
What, the whole haunted thing? Yes, I have. And frankly, I don't think there's anything to them. I know that some people are creeped out by animatronics because they have that phobia that fear. What do they call it?
Automatanophobia.
Yeah, that's it. Just because some people have that doesn't mean that the Freddy characters are scary in of themselves. I mean, yes, perhaps the way Foxy imitated my voice could sometimes be disconcerting, but it's AI, innit? I was never part of the technological side of things, so I don't know anything about the so-called dangers that the animatronics were supposed to present.
So, how does that make you feel about somebody having built a horror attraction around the characters?
I'm a little on the fence about it. I mean, I understand how some kids were probably spooked by Foxy and the others, and how outdated technology looks eerie and all that. But Freddy and the others, especially Foxy, are near to my heart. I think they ought to be remembered in some form or another. So, in some ways, I'm glad that Somebody's at least tried to keep the memory alive, even if it didn't work out. I also wish it hadn't been just a spook house. The characters aren't meant to be scary.
I suppose the fire probably will help people remember, though.
Yeah, but I'd rather they not be remembered for all the pain and chaos that characters seem to keep getting caught up in. It's not their fault things go wrong. It's certainly not the writer's fault or any of my friends, the other voice actors.
Well, no one ever said it was.
I know. It's just too bad that Freddy and Foxy get a bad rap for being the animatronic show where everything goes wrong.
So, whatever happened to Rockstar Foxy? Did you ever get in on that?
I was approached to do it. They told me he was gonna do this pirate rock thing and even share the stage with the other characters, and I thought, finally. I think they had Bill do it instead, I guess because his voice carried over the music better or something.
It's really unfortunate that the place burned down so suddenly.
Yeah, you'd think we were cursed or something.
And now Fazbear Entertainment is officially dissolved, sadly.
Yeah, that really saddens me. I don't know what they're going to do with the characters, frankly. I'm not sure who owns the copyright, so I don't know if they're ever coming back.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll fall into the public domain. Maybe other people will do something with them, or maybe they'll make a small scale comeback of some kind, like the Rockafire explosion.
Well, if they do, I hope they hire me to do the voice. In all seriousness, though, I hope the characters are preserved in some way. Even if it takes some fan with a lot of passion doing it out of their garage. And I'm always available to do Foxy for them.
Maybe someone will.
I only hope that
We will live on.
Freddy, Foxy, Bonnie and Chica will do something together again. Maybe I'll call the others and do something ourselves.
That would be great.
Yeah, put the band back together again.
Well, that's about all the time we have for this podcast. Great to have you with us, Mr. Rowland.
Call me David. Or Foxy.
Sure thing, Foxy.